Okay, guys, so last month, December 2021, the US released its unemployment rate, and it was a whopping 3.9% unemployment, the lowest since before the crisis. We're back. We're back. We made all those jobs back. Except it's a load of rubbish. Take that number, put in the bin, junk. Really, what happened was 200,000 new jobs were added, and they expected 466. Way off. They did not add anywhere near, not even half the amount of jobs they expected, right? They, even though we've got a market dying for people to come on, they can't fulfill those positions because there's a massive mismatch in jobs. Let's look more deeply. 152 million people were employed in America in February 2020, just before the crisis started. There's only 149 million now. That's a 3 million difference. And the reason is 4.5 million people have left the labor force completely. Where have they gone? Where are they going to? Where did they go? Well, they retired. That's the reason is 4.5 million. That is the baby boom generation. The baby boom generation of the 40s and 50s have started to retire. And they are the biggest population in all the Western world. All Western world countries, their biggest generation is the baby boom generation that is now starting to retire. Those 4.5 million people that have left the labor force are not coming back. They're not coming back, right? That's why you have 10 million open positions at the moment, meaning even if you fulfilled all the unemployed people got jobs, you still have 4 million people under 4 million openings still open. We have got a complete mismatch in society, and what's happened is that baby boom generation held a lot of knowledge and good vocational training, not stupid degrees, vocational training, metal work, construction work, I don't know, sewing skills, I don't know, things that people nowadays, what are we all told to do? Get a degree. Rack up $100,000 of debt, get a degree. Humanities, psychology, philosophy, that's the best option in life. That is the biggest lie in the world. Con job par excellence. Get a vocational job, an engineering job, something like that, something with that you're a specialist in, and you will be in very, very high demand because there are not enough people doing those sort of roles, and so these roles have now gone. They're gone. They're gone. No one there. There's no one there that can replace these people, and that's why we're having such shortages. Great CNBC article was a guy who owns a restaurant. He's looking for 2 full-time positions and 1 part-time, and he said he's going to have to close his restaurant in a week because if he can't fulfill it, he cannot fulfill demand. There's not enough people applying for these jobs, and the baby boomers are going, and there's no one to replace them now. Raoul Paul, amazing documentary actually. He stated that in 2018, it was actually this documentary, he said by now the Fed would have gone from 5 trillion to 8 trillion. I would have said you're mental. What, in 3 years you're going to tell me we're going to be 8, they're going to add 3 trillion for no reason? And actually they've added 6 trillion, but that's because of the COVID. But he was saying no, it's just due to demographics. When these people roll off, the Fed has to print money. The Fed has to throw money into the system because these guys are rolling off. They don't need new cars anymore. They don't, they're downsizing their houses. They don't need to do up their house. They're not eating out as much. They're not traveling to work. They're not doing any of this stuff anymore. And so you have a huge downward pressure on society. And we see it with German car sales. German car sales fallen off a cliff in 2021. Now you could say supply, chip shortage for a few months, but mate, they have fallen off a cliff, and this is globally as well. All kind of car manufacturing has fallen off a cliff because the baby boomers don't need it. They're retiring. They don't need a new car every few years. It's so obvious, right? To stop people lying to you. This is exactly what's happened. Now, how do we replace these people? Well, at the moment, we have no strategy of replacing that. We're just going to university, get another pointless degree, come out. You expect a really high salary. It's definitely not there. You wait around. You don't know what to do. Where am I going to go? They're only offering me this garbage job. I don't want it. I just spent $100,000, in debt to get something from my psychology humanities subject. Why can't I find anything? This is our problem. We've made a big problem for ourselves, and it's not going to be fulfilled. And we are heading to Japanification. Japanification is where it goes, where the young have to pay for this huge baby boom generation on pensions, and they need, the government has to pay them their pensions. They didn't put in any money. These people, I tell you, there's no worse generation than baby boomers. They deserve to lose everything they have because they didn't fund their pensions. They bought cheap houses. Their houses have quadrupled 8 times in price. The young can't buy it, and the young have to pay for their pensions. And the young obviously have junky pensions compared to their pensions. It's totally unfair, totally unfair. But that is what's going to happen. The young's going to have higher taxes, and we've seen it in England. 1 million new people are falling into the highest tax band this year because they're not moving the tax band. So obviously, as inflation occurs and wages increase, they fall into a higher tax band. They keep I've just gone through this before. The highest tax band in England is a paltry £50,000, $70,000. You're called the highest. There's an extra one, but we're saying that is the high tax band, $70,000. I mean, you can't survive on that, but that's what they're having to do because they have to pay for those stupid pensions of all these people retiring. They're going to have to print even more money and create even more inflation. That's what they have to do this. There is no way out. They're tapering, they're increasing interest rates. Think about it, guys. Think about it. If inflation keeps going up 7%, and let's say they put up interest rates to 1%, right? Let's go with that. That's still a negative 6%. Let's say they go, you know what, we're going to be ruthless with inflation. We're going to put it up to 2%, unheard of, right? But inflation's at 8%. What have you done? Nothing. Do you get it? They're just lying to you. They're not going to do anything. They're just going to rob you through inflation, either through taxation, I don't think they're going to do that, or just through inflation, in which you will fall into those higher tax bands naturally, and they will take tax from you there, and you're taxed naturally by inflation anyway. So all this is happening because of this. It's a demographic issue. It's nothing to do with anything else, supply chain, and demographically we're in trouble. I would recommend watching that Raoul Paul documentary on pensions. Links are not in the description below because I can't be bothered to do that stuff. I'm too lazy. But do like. There you go. Thank you very much.